Hello stranger, the girl's in danger, but you won't fight hard enough to save her. Said it ain't your issue, cause it ain't your sister, it ain't your missus. You don't get it, do ya? Cause if that were me, I would've, maybe I would've thought for a second and said maybe I shouldn't. There's blood on my hands after all, oh God, there's blood on my hands after all. Bow my head, said my prayers, I'm the good one, ain't I? Wash my hands of all my sins, I'm the good guy, ain't I? If everyone were like me, could there be the change I'd like to see? Ain't I good, ain't I right, did I try? But if I cared, I'd give more than thoughts and prayers. The burden's more than yours to bear. But ego's on my side, am I as good as I say if I tried? Do we try, we try, we try? Do we try, we try, we try? Hello partner, the world's got problems, and you won't work hard enough to solve them. Cause you hate Christians, and you hate Muslims, and you might kill over race and color. If that had been someone that I knew, then I would've probably laughed at his race jokes when I shouldn't. Cause there's blood on my hands after all. Cause there's blood on my hands after all. Bow my head, said my prayers, I'm the good one, ain't I? Wash my hands of all my sins, I'm the good guy, ain't I? If everyone were like me, could there be the change I'd like to see? Ain't I good, ain't I right, did I try? But if I cared, I'd give more than thoughts and prayers. The burden's more than yours to bear. But ego's on my side, am I as good as I say if I won't try? Ooh, we try, we try, we try. Do we try, we try, we try, we try. It ain't never good enough. We try, we try, we try. Am I as good as I say if I try? Bow my head, said my prayer. Wash my hands of all my sins. I wash it off, yeah.
Bruv, where's the music? Bring the music back, bruv.
Hey yo, happy Friday. What's going on, guys? We're just chilling and killing and chillaxing and relaxing. It's a love-hate relationship with price action right now. Because you hate it, but you also love it, depending on how you're playing it. Like I said, I got longs, I got shorts. We're letting everything just kind of figure itself out right now. Like I said, the most optimal would be a retest to the upside in terms of profit. Get another short on Ethereum and then let everything slide. Landslide down. But unfortunately, I just don't think that's how it's going to work out. I'm playing it by the strategy. I ain't got no opinion when it comes to how I play, but it does seem like the most likely scenario is perhaps a continuation to the downside. But howdy doody. Carlos, how you doing, man? Misa. Misa, hello, Kai. Hello. DF, yo. Yo to you too. Rad, I'm just going to call you Rad because if I try to pronounce your name, you're going to hate me for it. Hi. How you doing? Mr. Reckless. Hey, Kite. Hello, Mr. Reckless. Rodrigo. He said, all I can see is ABCs. Fantastic, man. I'm glad. Jamie Hill going down. See about that, man. We're at the last line of defense. If you're bullish, this is the place to be the bull. It always was. Doesn't make sense to be a bull after you've broken past the bullish area. But we're chilling there now. There is definitely the chance that, it's trying to form some sort of little head and shoulders. Trick some people out. Because I'm sure there's plenty of people that are on the bearish side. Switching their momentum. Switching their positions. Getting ready for the bearishness that is to be coming here shortly. But they might try to... Price action might try to trick some people today. I mean, as of right now, it's still an A-B situation. Awaiting a C. But it could just end up that smaller time frame setup was our ABC. Forming the possible AB. So, we'll play it as such. Now, I mean, if we do happen to break past this support and I get stopped out, I will try to enter one more time if we do happen to put in a lower low than 38,592 and we come back above that, because then it is a even bigger bullish setup. So if price action proves to be bullish, aka holding that area, I have a reason to be in a long. Past that scenario, there's really no other option for me to get into a long unless we get down to 33,000. So that's going to be my last if this and that statement line for quite a while. If that doesn't hold and we're just kind of chilling in this area, I am just going to be short unless price action gives me a legitimate reason to that I have not seen yet. But that's my plan going forward. Like I said, been chilling in the same trades, transparent as hell. All right. Did not panic. Because that's the thing. Like, if I panic, then you panic, then we all panic. What's the point? All right. If you have a plan, stick to the plan. And I know people are going to make excuses. They go, well, it's better to walk away with something than nothing. No, it's better to stick to your ideologies. All right, now, there's a point in time to get out of price action. To me, that was not shown. All right, so maybe to you and your ideology, it was shown. And I'm glad if you got out with profit. But don't do the flippy floppy, straight flipping copies, all right, with your trading strategy. All right, if that was your ideology then, let it be your ideology in the future. Otherwise, you're fickle. All right, so that's what I like to promote most and foremost. So I didn't get shaken out of my longs in terms of like me getting scared. And fortunately, I didn't get wicked out of the longs, which, never feels good, but it is what it is if it happens. All right, I got that monstrous short position if price action does continue downwards, which, like I said, I probably will be taking a long position around 33,000 just in case price action does prove to be bullish around that region. And then once price action gives me a way to get back into a short, I'll take profit on the short, continue to hold the long, see how it goes. Keep working through price action as it comes to us. I see in ABC. I can't get that Kevin Spacey, the Men Who Stare at Goats scene out of my head. It's probably one of the best scenes from that movie. So, you have schlongs. I see what you did there. I love you, Kite, best trader. I love you too. Thank you. You tell short and long. That's what's up. Scam wick coming to the high. It's I mean, if that little tiny green candle is a scam wick, I don't know about that. Oh my lordy jeez. All right, let me get him some food. He just ate like an entire bowl of food and then goes, I want more. So, I'll be right back. Like Dutch said, stick to the plan, Arthur. Stick to the plan. My fishy man. Stick to the plan, Arthur. Like I said, we all got different ways to look in the market. I'm not trying to say that mine is right. I'm just trying to say that the more that you adhere to your own plans and your own structure, the better time that you're going to have. It's all about solidifying what you believe in, sticking to it. And of course, there's room for modification. There's always room for modification, but when it's fickle in terms of like from trade to trade, rather than, give yourself some decent time, 10 setups, and you go, okay, all right, could it be better? Okay, maybe just a little bit, and then we tweak it. But if you're trading how you trade, or changing how you trade, from trade to trade to trade to trade to trade, how do you expect to have any sort of consistency when you're not consistent yourself? Doesn't matter if that consistency is failure, right? At least you know that way will be consistent failure. And then you can weed it out from there. You move on to a different structure, whether it's price action itself or a different indicator, however you want to play it. Just be consistent, my guys. Ryan Matt, hello, buddy. So what's the open trades, Kite? This is actually the chart itself I've kind of marked out. This is my future position right here. I'll mark it out with the price levels here. So this is a future position, a possible future long. This is a current long, and this is my current short. So the colors that are on the red spectrum will be for the shorts. Colors that are on the green spectrum are going to be the longs. So I have 2 open longs, very similar setups on Ethereum and BTC. Those are smaller time frames, which, I did move my take profit up a little bit, because if we actually somehow get back up to that $4,300 region, I do think we'll go slightly higher. Like I said, this is an A and a B, and if it does want to retest again, we should assume that we should get some sort of higher high C. So I moved my stop loss up just a little itty bitty little bit, just to see if that does happen. But other than that, I got that fatty short up here from actually no, incorrect. Let's unlock that real quick. Okay, there we go. That is where I'm short from. I don't want to lie to you guys. So, macro wise, I'm bearish on the entire market, right? Until we get down to 33,000. Then we'll see what happens. All right. But it's teeter on the edge. If we do happen to break through this lower low, like I said, there's one more possible chance for us to turn this around and go test some higher highs. I'm not talking about like this over here. I'm not expecting that, but I am expecting a higher high than 43K. Is if we put in a setup such as this. I'm trying to keep my chart nice and neat from now on, because I'm really bad about that, and I am sorry. I know there's, I talk a lot about consistency, but Mr. Kite, your chart is just not consistent from any time that we see you. You rebuild it every time. Well, I rebuild it. All right, don't yell at me, but at least I rebuild it consistently in terms of it looks the same every time I rebuild it, which that's a good thing. I nailed the ape short this week. Went full Kelly and got lucky. Never go full Kelly. What was the setup on that? You talking about right here? That looks like a tasty one, Mr. Grinch. And I mean, it was a really good ABC right there. Look at that. He had uptrend, cut to a downtrend, and then uptrend, put in that higher high, got rejected. Ooh, is that what you got it from? Because that's beautiful. Good job, Ryan. Excellent. Boop. Now, I mean, unfortunately, I hate that coins like this have bullish setups because I do want to hate on them. I do. I hate this coin and what it stands for, but it does have that bullish ABC as of right now, which considering the fact that somehow we're holding support off of this ABC to the downside right here. And on the minute time frames, we do have an ABC, but I don't know, man. I don't like to play like time frames like that anymore. It just doesn't soothe my soul at all. At all. He said, beat it, nerd. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There was one of those bots in my chat like the second I started up my live stream. I've never had that happen before, especially those WhatsApp bots. Kind of retarded. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. I'm calling the stinky bots. All right, I'm getting canceled. I'm sorry. It was fun while it lasted, Had a good run, had some fun, played some poker. I guess this is where it goes. This is where we end. And I read someone's text earlier. I don't know if I said it out loud, but he said, "Hey Kite, thanks for streaming on my B-Day. Happy B-Day, man. That's what's up." And on a Friday, nonetheless. Hopefully you're getting turned up. Can you and your people market buy so I can get out above 40.5, please and thank you? What do you mean, me and my people? You think I'm a market maker? I got a team of a whole bunch of, Mandarin speaking people at my disposal? No, I don't. Just me, myself, and I. Working against this gigantic snake made out of Christmas colors. Sup, Kite? My girlfriend is sleeping next to me, but I'm not in sleep mode. I'm in kite mode. Excuse me? I don't know how most of that sentence was relevant, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for choosing me over spending quality time with your significant other. I feel honored. What the hell is Duquan? I don't know, man. Duquan, he's got to come save the day. We've scaled into our trades. Good boy. I'm going to need more information. I just hate how you typed that because I feel weird now. Very weird. Hopefully it's referring something to the Dutch and Arthur thing we were role playing earlier, but if not, I just don't know how I feel. For a second when you turned around, I thought Fish farted, and that's why you were like, oh my god. Now there's been a couple times. Fish just has some gnarly farts. And you can't hear him. So like it's just you get punched. Get punched in the face by the stank. STANK. Hey bro, I thought you took the LTC trade that I did. A long or a short? Because I really, really wanted to get a short on LTC, but that's the setup that I was looking for. I didn't get it. So unfortunately, sitting this one out. I mean, as of right now, there is still a possible chance for us to see something along those lines. Don't rush the price, or else the price will just snort all of your cocaine that you've been saving for a special occasion. And then what are you going to do? Now you're lost. Wandering around the outlet mall with no rhyme or reason. Outlet malls just kind of like piss me off. They really do. One, they're outside, which sucks. All right, whoever thought of that is just dumb. All right. As well as that, it's pulling the same, like you go on like Walmart, and Walmart's like, this item was $200, but now for some reason or come to God moment, it's $20. And then, my mom now has an excuse as to why she bought, I don't know, like scrambled egg molds. She's like, it was $100, but now it's $20. So I'm theoretically, like I win. I'm like, no, it was always 20. All right. They just say it's 100, so then you feel better. That's the same thing outlet malls do. And I'm not here for it at all. I feel like it's a scam. The entire thing's a scam. And they make it trendy too. You know, usually outlet malls are like around like tourist areas like Myrtle Beach. So I was like, oh my God, let's go to the outlet mall. They're already in a money spending mood. So then they take advantage of that. Let's shut down outlet malls. I feel like that's worse than Vegas. Right. I was very confused. I watched some of your live streams and you were talking about SWAT this, SWAT that. And I was like, did Ryan get swatted? So swatting is not like the bots. Swatting is like when someone finds out your IP, they grab your address, they call the local police station that they can find in your area. They say that you're like, you have your wife at gunpoint. And then all of a sudden, men with guns come into your home because they think that you're killing your wife. All right. That's what swatting is. All right. A bunch of people with Telegram and WhatsApp numbers. Their balance is off. They ain't got no pinky toes. And that's why they have to find money through different means. They have to scam people out of their money because you can't do any hard labor without a pinky toe because then you just keep falling over. Who wants a welder that keeps falling over? That just defeats the purpose. And you just have to weld yourself back together because you're probably going to have an accident. We can rearrange the term to SWAT because they're basically bugs. They don't bother anybody really, and nobody's really dumb enough to fall for it. But nobody likes a bug in their face. So, swat the bugs. Swat the bugs. YouTube, please scan to the channel without warrant and straight shut me down. Yeah. I'm glad. Man, they didn't get their shit together before Elon buys our ass. Maybe that's their plan. Like, if I start a company and the company for some reason gets big, and all of a sudden I start acting like a douche canoe, is that like a legitimate strategy? Then all of a sudden, like I said, because I feel like Jeff Bezos is going to try to copy Elon Musk. First he copies him with the penis spaceship. Now he's going to copy him with trying to save free speech. So maybe Jeff Bezos comes after YouTube. Who knows? It's just harder with YouTube because who owned Twitter? Was Twitter just like a separate entity? Because I know Facebook has Instagram and I don't know what else. Google has YouTube and Google Play Music, but who uses that? I don't know. What if Google doesn't like YouTube? I've thought about that before. Like, what if they bought it because theoretically it makes a lot of profit, but it's just too much? It's like when you have nephews and nieces, and you say, "Yeah, I'll watch them for the weekend," and you immediately regret your decision. What if Google did that with YouTube, and now they're trying to find a way out of it? So they're just pissing people off until somebody buys it. Because I would, if that was the case. Because you can't outright say I made a mistake. Because then you just look stupid. For a multi-trillion-dollar company, pretty much, Google's pretty much BlackRock on the internet, owns the entire planet. You can't be caught making mistakes like that. just tuned in, the first thing I hear is, who wants a welder without a pinky toe? You'll keep falling over. Am I wrong, though? I don't think so. How's XMR doing? Let's check up on my my mining here, because I do want to keep you guys updated on this portfolio, because I think it is something interesting that people need to be aware of. Like, if you have the capabilities, like I said, you need to be mining, right? From a strict R&R perspective, if you are trading and you have the capabilities to mine, you need to mine, at least while it's decently profitable. Okay, so I mean, here's my, right now I got 30,000 Satoshis up in this hoe, which comes out to what, like $12, $13? Not gonna tell me? Yeah, $12. So once this hits 50,000 Satoshis, I immediately send it off to my Binance account, which let me throw up in the Binance, which for all intents and purposes, I speak fluent Mandarin. One moment, please. Because this Binance account is strictly comprised of mining profits. So, oh, you stinky binky. I hate when you put in your authenticator code and it changes the second you hit enter. There we go. So this is my mining. So we got about $80 worth of XMR and BTC, $20 worth of Cadena, and then we got technically $30 worth of Flux mining profits, but like $17 to $20 of that is on Zelcore, which it doesn't really make sense for me to move it just to have it on here for statistic purposes, but that's how I got everything divvied out. And for me, it's a simple matter of R&R perspective. Like I said, for Catena, I'm interested in putting like actual money into the market. It's just I can't bring myself to do it from a strategy perspective, because we're kind of like in the middle of like a no man's land. So unless you're mining, for me personally, I just don't have a reason to buy here. Now, like I said, if we do happen to put in a lower low than $4.39, right, to me, from my strategy's perspective, that would be a gigantic A into a B into a C, or a hill, right? And I know that we have one right here. I get that, but I'm trying to play the macros here. And, if Cadena does what it does in the future, I'm fine with whatever. All right, another $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 is not going to hurt me. All right, so if we can hold support at $4.40 ish, all right, that shows me that could be a strong area to buy. Because if we can't hold that, there is really a large chance that we fall back down to probably like $1.40. All right, because you can see, like, right now we're kind of holding this specific region over here. You can see that's the local low that was set on the run up, and you can see that's where we're kind of balancing out at. So there might be a little bit of a shakeout, and that's why I'm waiting to see what happens. All right, if not, I got the mining profits. It's a 7-to-1 R&R immediately. All right, so if price action drops down to $1.40, I still haven't lost money, and that's the glory of it. All right, so other than that, if we do happen to get back above $8.67, all right, those are the two places where, all right, one, this condition needs to be met. We need to put in the lower low, and then price action needs to come back above, showing that it's able to find support here, and then hopefully it goes like that. All right, so that's when I'll put like actual money of mine into Cadena, or if we break through this resistance / support, you can see this local low right here was being used as a buying area, all right? But then it flipped into resistance right here. You can see we came up and hit it a couple times, and that's what kept bouncing us off. So if we get back above that, then technically we should be breaking through a lot of liquidity, and then we can target, $17, we can target $28, somewhere up in those two resistances, respectfully, if you're just playing at short-term time frame. But that's my plan. Other than that, I just have to kind of sit on the sidelines. I gotta wait. Because like I said, I mean, if I'm paying $1 worth of electricity, but getting $7 worth of crypto, and then dividing that into Bitcoin, Monero, Cadena, and Flux, all right, essentially every single coin that I'm buying at that point in time, like immediately after taking those profits, it's a 7 R&R immediately. Well, like a 6 R&R, all right? And Cadena would have to drop like 90% for me to break even, all right? So when you buy $10,000 of Cadena at $5 and it drops 50%, you lost 50%, all right? If I buy $10,000 worth of Cadena, theoretically, if I could buy it through mining, all right, at $5 and it dropped 50%, I haven't even lost 50%. People go, well, yeah, you did. You lost 50% of that 10,000, but I only bought, $7,000. All right. So to me, I didn't lose anything yet until I break below my initial investment of the electricity cost. And then if it goes up, it's even more profit. Like that's the beauty of it. It's just the delayed gratification is what's going to get people in trouble with that, in terms of like, you think you're going to miss the boat. But if the boat is so damn big and you about to catch that wave, even if you got a surfboard, you're going to go far. I can't imagine Elon would take a loan from Jeff. No. I'm not saying he's going to take a loan from Jeff Bezos. I'm just saying like Jeff Bezos is probably like, nobody calls me the richest man in the world anymore. Nobody even talks about me anymore. I used to be all the buzz, but now it's all about this Musk guy. He sounds like he smells. And Bezos is just like, Bezos like it probably like stresses backwards. Like when people stress, they lose their hair. What if Bezos grows hair when he stresses? Wouldn't that be strange? And then we can prove that that man's an alien. How many graphics cards do I have? I have two. I have a 3090 and a 2080 Ti. So, like that's what I'm trying to preach. I'm trying to not say like from a like an elitist perspective, which I mean, a 3090 and a 2080 Ti is the top tier of this current gen, last gen. But the 3090 is my main computer. That one I bought specifically for mining. So I mean, I don't have like a large setup. I'm making about 550, 650 a day, depending on how much I use my main computer and how long it can mine per day. Because obviously I can't stream and mine at the same time; it'll mess up the stream. But no, it's from a simple ROI. Not even the ROI perspective, just the R&R perspective is what I'm really concerned about, because I'm in crypto for the long term. I'm not looking at mining as a business. I'm looking at as a way to DCA while maintaining a good restored ratio. Mining can take things that, like Cadena, like Flux, like any coin that has good potential on paper, but is a high risk investment from like just the fact that it's a newer coin, and it can turn it from, like I said, to where you can buy at any point that you like, so that you don't miss the boat, but you have like so much headroom before you're even break even. Kite, where are your emojis? My emojis. I got emojis on my Discord, but not too many. I got a kite face. I got this kite face, which you can't even really see it. And then I got this kite face, and that's it. Also, by the way, Cadena really done screwed the pooch, and I hope they got the money to like get rid of this stuff. But I was on Reddit the other day, and they had the Bitcoin Reddit, they have Monero Reddit, whatever it might be. So I try to look up r/KDA. All right. Not the move, guys. Not the move. All right. r/Cadena, thumbs up. But to people look up r/KDA, not a cryptocurrency. All I'm going to say. All right. They gotta pay them to like switch the name of those other subreddits. All right. Cause also, the figure he proposed per share is below value. The board added poison bill clause, so at this point he's not allowed to own 50% more outright. Lastly, all his capital is liquid, so the only option is to get a loan, but he can't, as the banks don't want to deal with loose cannon away anymore. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people don't understand, like, if he's worth, such and such amount of money, but a lot of that's tied to SpaceX, a lot of that's tied to Tesla. So if he starts selling off shares of Tesla, that puts him in a bad position because, if someone tries to steal his company from him, and then it's just going to start tanking the price of those stocks, which, I don't know. Yeah. I can't show r/KDA. On your own time, look that up. Figure it's Friday. I have some fun. Get on here, talk a little shit. Got orange push-up milkshake. Probably play a little bit of poker after this stream too, so might catch me on a little blockchain.poker. Man, this is a good milkshake. He will create his own platform. Yeah, but I mean, it's counterintuitive. So like you look at like Rumble and BitChute, I do support those platforms because obviously like there has to be a change of pace and there has to be a protection of free speech. Like, as long as you're not inciting violence, all right, legitimately, and like, people go, oh my God, it's provoking violence. It's provoking violence and hatred. All right, unless it's like, hey, let's break some teeth of this specified group. All right. Okay, then. All right, maybe censor that. But, other than that, like, I think anything should be said. I've said it before. All right, if you let people have freedom, and especially freedom of thought, they will say what they feel. Otherwise, that's when you have closeted people that feel a certain type of way, but they're too afraid to say anything. So now you get into a situation where you have to deal with this person, and you did not know that they were crazy. All right. If there is no limitation and people are free to say crazy things, I rather them say crazy things online, me to know that they're crazy, so I never meet them in a Walmart parking lot. And if I see them, I whip a Yui. All right, because then I know probably going to not end up well. Play while you're on stream. It'd be fun. We did that last time, and I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's just, Tuesdays and Thursdays are probably the most likely days that if I was to do it, I would do it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm supposed to be a little more serious about the market, looking at the charts, blah, blah, blah. All right. Right now, I mean, it's been the same price action for the past, week or so. I mean, really, about a month now. Let's see. From the time I entered that trade, it's been about half a month, and then really nothing interesting has happened because once we put in that higher high, I mean, that plan got initiated. So yeah, about a month. So I mean, there's nothing really to do but talk shit. Like, that's my favorite thing. Like, I love when people come into the channel and I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? Blah 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 blah. What's the trade? What are you doing? What are you doing? What is that? I'm like, ain't really nothing big to be talking about. Most of the time, it just means you gotta zoom out. Zoom out. If you zoom out, take a deep breath, relax your eyes, don't look at any of the specific candles, just kind of look at your screen, you'll know what to do. It's like magic. I went to Lowe's today. I tried to help my sister pick out a stain, which is a lot harder process than I really thought it was going to be. Because when I went to go stain my desks, it was a lot easier process just because I'm a man. You know, I go in there and I'm like, you know, that's a cool color. I go back and I just throw it on the on the countertop. And I'm like, that will do, and I go through with it. She's over here getting samples, looking at 50 different shades of gray. Do you like the eggshell white? Do you like the banshee white? Do you like this white? I'm like, it's all the same. And like, it actually is. So like, you know, if you know a male's eyes and a female's eyes, not like, you know, bro science, blah, 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 you know, boxes and wires analogy. But physically, they have more cone receptors for colors. So they can distinguish more colors. Because they were trying to pick out which berries were poisonous and which ones weren't. I'm over here, I see one color. And I agree to a certain extent. Like, we went back and I'm like, man, I don't know what would look good, to be honest. Because stain is difficult because it's not paint. And if you start staining, and you stain too much, it's kind of irreversible. Yeah, you can sand it down. As long as you're using a similar color, you can, you know, do a decent job of it. But I don't know how like these like exterior designers do such a good job. I guess you do a couple houses, you know what brand to use, you know what, you've kind of seen every single color as a final finish, so you know what you're looking for. You can help them pick it out. But this is my first time really trying to stain a deck out here. It's gonna be an experience. And now I got my car washed, which really, like, I can wash the outside of my car pretty well. I just hate vacuuming the inside of my car. It's just tedious. You're colorblind? I'm sorry, man. Like, how colorblind? Because you got like childhood trauma, got bleach in your eyes, colorblind, and then you got, you know, there's three different main kinds, like protomia. There's one that's like pro, one's tri. I just remember them from like their first three initials. I forgot the other one. Monochrome, maybe? I don't know. The one that can't see like red and green distinguish, like you can't distinguish between those two colors. 100 plus people just pumped the r/KDA algo on Reddit. Hopefully you pumped the right one, because the other one is a little nasty. All the little weebs out there. I like the variety of subject here: health, markets, interior design, and very electric. I appreciate it, man. I mean, because that's life. That's a jumbled up mess of different stuff. You get stuck down one street, keep turning right, you just end up in the same place. Sometimes you gotta take a left and get lost real quick, and then, you know, at least you know what street not to go down now, because some lady flashed you and she definitely has not worn a bra in a long time. Helicopter mode. Activate. It's a very ugly, vivid image. I'm very sorry for that. That's never happened to me either. But I feel like it's probably going to happen because, you know, You think, therefore you are. So since I thought it, it's going to happen because sometimes I'll be questioning what's happening, whether or not we're in a simulation. And like you're sitting at a stoplight and every single car is red except for yours. And you're like, man, didn't know I was going to be in the traffic for bloods. Use a firm brush with vasing when vasing the car. Vacuuming. Oh, I gotcha. Bleach takes the color. No, I had a friend. Like a legit story. I had a friend that I talked to for quite a bit, and his parents abused him as a child, and they put bleach in his eyes, and like he's actually colorblind because it's not that like bleach took the color out of his eyes, it's that it damaged his eyes so bad that now he pretty much views the world in grayscale. So not a funny situation, but because of the back and forth that we're talking about. Anybody has anybody been a scientist lately? Done the thing that we talked about with the breathing? Even if it was a little bit, have you at least tried it, looked into it, done a couple rounds? I ain't saying you gotta do it 2 hours on the first try because it's a little bit extreme. But I need some anecdotal evidence here. That is strange. Kicking around pancakes. Yikes. I got you. A little UK slang for you. Desk computer. Unless the comp stands for something else. How you doing? What's going on? I feel like this stream has been so eventful so far. It's ridiculous. I'm in a weird mood. All right. So I've been doing a lot of research across a lot of different topics lately. Really jumbling up my brain with all the information because since I'm not in school, when I'm learning new information, I'm not forced to learn it, like instantaneously. Like when you got a test, you have vocabulary for said test. You have to pop the flashcards, you have to memorize words. So like I'll learn these subjects pretty in depth, but then I don't remember the exact words relating to like all of the mechanisms combining to it. So, I'm still kind of getting my brain around to that. But in terms of like my Adderall prescription for my ADD, the doctor tried to tell me, take it every single day, don't have any off days. Which I did research. That's not good. Now, the only reason why they tell you that is because they think that like you can form bipolar by having ups and downs, but that's called a circadian rhythm, and it also goes for the drugs flying around your system endogenally. So, I did 4 days on, 3 days off, and then I'm back on it today. So, yeah, which kind of sucks because it's going to kind of cycle through. I might switch it so that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Up to Thursday, I'm on it. Friday, I'm off it. Weekend, I'm off of it. So I'm trying to make sure that I can prolong the effects because, like I said, amphetamines, psychedelics, and there is a Sigma 1? Either Sigma 1 or Sigma A inhibitor agonist can promote neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, which I'm trying to use it for a plethora of different things. I got trading under control, not too worried about that, but if you're interested in that subject, you can use it for trading. I'm mostly using it for my daily habits to get my health right. Trying to build up a regimen of wake up, take my vitamins, go outside for a little bit, take fish out, especially staying on top of drinking my beet juice, making sure my blood pressure stays low, and then hopefully just continue to cycle that. Like I said, I mean, past 2-3 weeks, I've been insanely good. I've felt better than I have in a long time. Coming right out of high school was probably the healthiest I've ever been. That's when I was intermittent fasting for like 6 months straight. Everything was good, fine, dandy. But then I just kind of fell out of my habits a little bit too hard. Ever tried activated charcoal? Are you talking about for like teeth? Like white teeth and a good microbiome of the mouth? Or is that for muscles, or what's it good for? Ever tried moving average trading strategies, not ABC? In the past, like I looked at moving averages because of Filicone. That's one of his strategies that he likes to look at. I didn't find much success with it. It just didn't jive with my way of thinking. So, I get the concept, and I do think that like the 200 EMA, 200 daily EMA is something like a really good metric to have on your screen. It's just a lot of the times when I'm charting out these ABCs and how I see price action, I usually line up with a lot of those indicators pretty exactly. So it's once again like with the RSI. If I have an ABC and it's a bearish ABC, and say 8 times out of 10, I can find a bearish divergence relating to that ABC, why do I need to know if there's a divergence if there's always going to be a divergence statistically? All right, it's a way to cloud my mind even more. So like take this ABC for example. All right, if there was no divergence for this ABC and I needed a divergence, I probably wouldn't have taken it. All right, but because it's an ABC, I take it. Now let's check. I don't really know whether or not. Let's look right here for a second. So, I mean, it's kind of a double top. Let's check some higher time frames, some lower time frames. All right, so let's check the 2 hour. Okay, we got a higher high there. Check the 4 hour. Definitely a higher high there. Let's go back down to like the 30-minute here. Okay, so I mean, you can kind of see it. This is like a double top divergence. Technically, it's a higher high, but it's really just a straight line right there. So, I mean, I had a divergence, but does it really make a difference? The setup is the same. So, I mean, like I said, it's not the same situation with the moving averages because I know that they're going to be slightly different. Like, let me pop up, let's see, EMA. And let's take off. Can I get rid of... I don't know which one is... Which one is which? They really don't do a good job. I'm guessing it goes 20, 50, 100, 200. So 20, 50, 100, 200. Is that right? Well, that looks... Okay, yeah, because the 20 would definitely be closer to the price action. So... let's go out to like the 200-day moving average here. All right. So, I mean, look at the 200-day. All right. Like I said, if we hold 39,300-ish, I've been looking towards the 43K, and now I'm looking for a little bit higher of a retest if we continue to hold here. So, I mean, if this kind of extends at the angle that it's going, 44,000 respectively. So, I mean, you can see how like my targets are somewhat in line with the moving averages to a certain extent. So why does it make sense for me to cloud more shit on my screen? I'm not judging. I'm not. I'm just saying from my perspective how I've played the charts the past 4 years. I mean, gosh darn, man. Go look at my old live streams. I used to be the king of having useless shit on your charts. I looked worse than Target hit over here. All right. So trust me, anything that I ever talk about is from a perspective of I've lived it. I'm not going to have a major opinion on something that I've never gone through or never used. All right. And if I do have an opinion, I usually preference it like, hey, I really don't know a lot about this, but here's what I think. All right. So, I mean, lordy, oh geez, look at my charts. They look like cheese. Swiss. Look at that. Do you know what's happening? I don't anymore. All right. So, I mean, I used to use everything under the sun. Gone fans. I birthed, all right, these other YouTubers and their spider lines. All right. I don't know about target hit. I don't know what the timeline is. I don't know. But Jesus, man. I used to look like a schizophrenic over here on the charts. So, it's from a perspective of love. I know these things have some merit. And if you use them correctly, you can do at least somewhat well with them. But the problem is you can't stay consistent. That's why I talked about at the beginning of the live stream. If you have a way of doing things that's separate from mine, that's okay. But what's important is you stay true to what you're doing and you don't flippy floppy straight flipping copies from trade to trade. All right. So, give yourself some time. Go through 20 setups. All right. However your setups are setups, that's what matters. So for me, I'm looking for ABCs. All right, for you, you might be looking for a retest of the 200 and a bounce off the 21. Who knows what you're doing? All right, but you need to let yourself have 20 to 40 trades where it is strict to the T. That is how it's played. All right, because then you can figure out if that's really not the right way to do it, it's not the right way to do it. But if one or two trades don't work out, you're not going to falter and change your entire system because of a couple trades. All right, that's something that I really took away from trading in the zone when I first read it. Actually, no, probably the second time I read it was the chapters about boom bust trading, where like you take an account from zero to hero, and the second it starts not really working, you shift something quite dramatically. All right, nowadays, like if it starts to not work, I will shift a little bit, but not immediately. I give it some time. All right, and it's a very gradual change. It's not a complete dynamic overhaul of the entire system of how I get in and out of trades. So. Take the fish out. Wait, what? What are you talking about? I'm more hesitant to try the breathing thing than I am to do a high dose of mushrooms. Me too, dude. All right, because there's a level of clarity that you have, but then you have like a DMT-esque experience. With DMT, you're very confused because you're so clear, but at the same time, everything is brand new almost, unless you get through to the other part, because then you're back where you always were. So then everything, it's a very weird concept. But with that, it's very strange. So I totally get you, because I've done mushrooms again before I have retried the breathing, because it's a different ball game, man. Different ball game. Most companies did lower their earnings expectations. I think it's because COVID's kind of done. All right, it's kind of moving towards like the seasonal flu thing. Did you get your flu shot this year? Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's good. Hopefully you don't get sick this year, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of turned into that. What weird is I went out the past couple of days. Past couple of weeks, I have not really been seeing people with masks, even like the workers at like Wawa and stuff. If it's food workers, honestly, if food workers, I think, should be wearing it anyways. It kind of just makes sense. All right. So I get that, but for some reason there's been a little bit of an uptick in the people wearing masks again, which I don't get. But do you? If it makes you feel safe, it makes you feel safe. But like Netflix and Hulu Plus and all these companies that were making money off of people staying inside because of the pandemic. Even Amazon, their earnings are going to go down because people want to get outside now. It's summertime. The pandemic's, canceled. So I mean, their earnings are all going to go down. It's just how things work. Looks like the 90s disco. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I don't know why I went straight for Darude Sandstorm, but okay. Kite finding resistance and support to use the 1 day or lower time frames. So it's all a matter of perspective. Like if you can see what you need to see on the 1 day, you're good. If you can see what you need to see on the 30-minute, you're good. Like I said, my 30-minute is most people's 2 hour just because of the amount of screen real estate I have at my disposal. All right, so on the 30-minute, I can see a lot of price action. All right, and I can see, like, what's important is you're seeing the trends, where they begin and where they end. All right, all of this middle price action ain't worth a squat, unless that's all you got to work with. Other than that, all right, you're looking at, okay, this goes big uptrend. This goes big downtrend, okay? If you're trying to draw, like, supports and resistances, nothing matters at all except for the top of this, the bottom of this, the top of this, the bottom of this, the top of that. Nothing else matters. None of this price action matters if you're looking at macro supports and resistances. Now, if you're like playing a smaller time frame, yeah, you might be using maybe, this local low and this local low and this local low. But that's about it. All right, but you can see, like, would that really have done any good for you? Not really. The only thing that really did anything good for you was looking at this potential area and then waiting for price action to show you to go long rather than trying to prematurely go long. Now, when you're in a severe uptrend like the bull market at the very start of it, all right, there is a reason to change how you do things. So like over here, all right, if you have local lows, say like local low, local low, local low, right? It makes sense to try to catch that bottom because you do have a lot of upwards momentum anyways to help you carry forward. But with this, you don't have upwards momentum right now. The mathematics are against you. Downwards price action is the norm. All hail the sun. Okay. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, if you want to make more money over the next 2 years, favor shorts. All right. It's just statistics. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be longs to take that will work out. I'm just saying that statistically, we can at least assume that we have a 51 to 49% chance of shorts to work out. It's the same thing over here. If you have declining money or stagnant money coming into a market where you have a inflation rate, whether it's 1%, 2%, 7%, no matter what, you are inflating the asset, you're devaluing it. Now, because of Bitcoin, and it's like 1 to 2%, I don't know exactly what the percentage is, inflation rate, all right, that gives us room to have upside within a primarily downside market to retest whether or not we can hold higher prices. Because if we don't have to go lower, we don't want to go lower, right? The market as a whole, right? Because the point of the market is not necessarily to like test extremes. If we have to, we have to, right? The market decides that in real time. But the market, its only purpose is to find out what is the appropriate price of an asset. Now, if you're in an ETF market, good luck with that because it's highly manipulated. Bitcoin is not manipulated, all right? It's a free market. So yeah, you can go, well, if a billionaire sells blah, 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 it's going to manipulate my 100x 5-second trade. All right, okay, you're on that side of the spectrum. I get it. You go, I don't know, go drink puddle water. I don't know what you're doing with that, but okay. It's a free market. People should be allowed to do what they want to do. And there is no market maker. There's market makers, and that includes you. Whenever you take a trade, you are a market maker. Now, if you're using market trades, technically you're a taker, but you're making the market move when you take trades. So collectively, there is a market maker, and he is nefarious because humanity is nefarious as a whole. We just don't know what's happening because we can't see ourselves in the mirror. And that's why we hate it. We hate playing the market most of the time because it's a direct reflection of like the entire psychology of humanity at a whim. All right. Basically, like Bitcoin is a good chart to see how humanity's growth is happening. So there's my rant for the day. Probably didn't make much sense, but at least we like it. So I mean, it's just a matter of like, if you have something to blame, you're gonna blame it, and you're gonna blame it every single time. If you think that legitimately there's manipulation, that there's somebody out to get you, that you specifically are the target, you will never admit when you make a mistake, and you'll keep doing the same thing because you go, it's their fault. Like I said, right? People like to come and say theories about, the Will Smith slap being fake. It doesn't matter if it is. Has humanity collectively changed? The fact still stands that humanity cares about that stupid shit, right? Regardless of if it was set up. It's important for people to change, not for the market to change, right? And if people start changing, the market's going to change too, because it's just a collective pit of people's actions and psychology. It's where, like, just look at the market as the market. It's a separate entity. It's like a living being, you know? It's a Christmas colored snake. It has no destination except gradually up over a multi-year time frame. And sometimes down, because math. What kind of monitor do you use? I use a 4K 27-inch monitor. So I have 4 times, pretty much, not exactly, but like 78% more. I guess that's 2K. I basically have 4 times the screen real estate in order to look at the charts. I can fit 4 times as much information and still have clarity in terms of pixels. So, I mean, I do recommend that, like, if you want to help yourself psychologically when you're looking at charts, get a cheap 4K monitor. You don't have to go all out and buy like a $500 monitor. I'm sure there's some good 4Ks out there for probably like $100 nowadays. Like I said, it's just a matter of, you have to know your limitations. That's why I said, if you learn about the dopamine system, if you learn about biology, and I hate to keep repeating that because it makes me sound extremely arrogant. I'm not. I'm still learning, right? But it's important to know when it's an action made by you in terms of like a logical thought through decision, and something that like your brain brings to the forefront as, like, think of it like a suggestion. Like your brain's like an assistant. It helps you through the process, but sometimes we confuse it with the final decision. If that makes any sense. Shanghai lockdown is wild. Is there another like lockdown thing going on? Crazy. Short Will Smith. You think you're cooler than me? So like I've been listening to a lot of Mike Posner songs, like his newer albums. That shit's heavy, very heavy, compared to You Think You're Cooler Than Me, like one of his first hit songs. I was like artists like that, Mike Tyson. He goes from being an unstoppable killing machine, and then you hear him talk nowadays, and it's like, yeah, like I love to see that transformation in people. It makes me happy, because if like people that are at that extreme of like living fast and having everything that they could ever want can still make that decision, and they can see kind of through the veil. I mean, it's a real eye opener. Pretty cool. How can you learn about it? It's kind of a smorgasbord. So I thought about putting together like my own personalized list of everything that I kind of find interest in, because I did think about that when I say look up these topics, it's very vague, but I don't want to be the authority on what is right and wrong. I would like to tell you what I think might be a good path to go down, but I don't want to dictate the end result, if that makes any sense, because I think we all should find different perspectives. But just to list off a couple things, topics: neurogenesis, dopaminergic system, dopamine. How does it affect the brain? How is it created? How does it affect the brain in terms of what other factors can it cause, aka neuroplasticity, brain changing its entire shape. You can grow your prefrontal cortex to become smarter, right? It's a possibility. It's just people, the whole you can't teach an old dog new tricks, all right? And if the old dog doesn't want to learn new tricks, it won't, all right? You have to want these things in order to make them happen. So you have meditation, you have transcendental meditation, there's so many different methods. I like Zazen, or I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but Zazen meditation. All right, this one is the one that I find to be, for me personally, probably the best, because one of the books that I am trying to get through slowly, because I do find myself reading a lot of books from an egotistical perspective in terms of I want to be able to say that I read this book, but a lot of the times I have to read something many times in order for me to actually feel it and understand it, not just intellectually memorize, if that makes any sense. So Shobo Genzo focuses a lot on Zazen, or Sha. It's pronounced mostly with an S. I just don't have the lingo. And that promotes heavy activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, which allows you to trigger the brain to become plastic. All right, so learning about the nervous system, your sympathetic, your parasympathetic, which organs are attached to it, how to activate them naturally or with supplements or with pharmaceuticals. You have philosophy, Alan Watts, Paramahansa Yogananda, Ram Dass. I like some of the stuff that Maharishi talks about, but it's a very weird situation, because I do think people in the modern age, if they are able to condense information and make it useful to the modern day, I think that does deserve a payment, right? So like Maharishi took transcendental meditation, which is an ancient practice, and was able to modernize it to be able to give it to people in today's day and age. All right. Like I said, I do think that deserves payment because they're doing you a service, and an incredible one at that. But it is a gray area, because it's like Buddha said that once you wake up, your mission is the liberation of all intelligent beings. It doesn't mean the liberation of all intelligent beings for profit, but it's, if you want to reach more people, you do have to have some sort of way to continue to reach more people, if that makes sense. Like, my whole thing is I do want to open up a retreat for people to discover what they believe in. Right? I'm not like opening up like a Jehovah's Witness church. All right. I want a place where people can escape for a little bit and find out, what do you believe in? All right. And it will come to you, because the answer is found in silence. So, a lot of the times we're stuck on autopilot. We don't have silence. It's always chatter. So there's so many good resources, not only on like the physical science, but also like the metaphysical science as well. which a lot of it has to do with the physical science. It's all kind of linked together. And it's really tough for me to like sit there and say like go that direction, because man, it's a spider web of information over there. Buddhism is dumb. I saw that. But Buddhism isn't a religion. It's more toned to philosophy or psychology. Even the Christian saints that went over and were looking at, that's what I liked about the saints. Like the Knights Templar and the Spanish Crusaders, they just went like, hey, you believe in Jesus? Nah, die. Okay? That was their whole thing. The saints, obviously they want to convert people, but they went over and they talked to them, they learned their culture, and they learned what they were about. And the saints, when they went over to China, mostly for trade, they bumped into Confucianism, Buddhism, Zen, and all those other doctrines, Hinduism. And a lot of the times they said that it doesn't even conflict. It doesn't even conflict with Christianity whatsoever. So if you're looking at Buddhism from a religion perspective, yeah, it could be dumb, because you have people out there that go like, religion is dumb because, maybe they were raised hardcore Christian and they want to rebel. I'm not trying to say that like religion is real or not real. What I'm saying is that those are your ancestors. And if you don't think that they have wisdom that is still relevant, is ignorant. And it's kind of, I guess ignorance is the best word I can say, because it's like saying more than thousands of years put together. And yeah, it's all written in proverbs and analogies, but how do you pass down information through thousands of years? You can't. You can't tell people how to directly relate it, because we're all coming from different time periods. So that's where like I don't prescribe to any single religion. I think there's something to be found in all of them, because it's just wisdom. That's all it is. Whether it's the Asian religions or doctrines and they're more psychology based, or some of the Western religions, and you got like the ODO and all those hermetic offshoots. You got so many different things to look into. It just doesn't make sense to follow one path. Do you know where is Latvia? No, I'm sorry. You talking about Shobo Ginzo? I mean, you talking about, is that hard to understand? They have translated versions. I would say it's good to pick up a couple different versions that have been translated, because some people have different interpretations, but the Tyson situation is scary for me. IDK, I don't know what that guy thinks. What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about he punched him on the plane. Yeah. I mean, it's when you got a man like Tyson, he might have been able to turn his life around in terms of like how he thinks, but there is that same version of him somewhere deep down. And if someone is able to bring that out of him, They probably deserve it. I'm not gonna lie. Well, because what was the dude doing? I don't think Mike Tyson just punched him because he looked funny. Oh, Joe. I did that with Pudge, the NFT horse that I had. It's a shit feeling. Hopefully it wasn't like an ungodly amount and you're still good. Hey. If BTC drops down to 33K, do you still think LTC will make it 65? Oh, for sure. Like, I can't say that it's going to go to 65 because that's just stupid of me to say that. But that's the next logical step in LTC's progression to the downside, just because of the past supports and resistances. Now, like, I don't know, let's take a look at the volume profile, maybe. I don't know. And see if it lines up. I mean, yeah, that's about right. Let me add some more resolution to this real quick. So yeah, like if we fall through this, I mean, you can see like the volume does start to pick up a little bit around like 82, 74, but like you don't have your next major volume spike until around like 64. So see what I'm saying? Like, I don't need this indicator to tell me that's what I should be looking for. All right. That's why, like, I just don't prescribe to indicators anymore. All right. I got those levels marked out. The indicator just told me what I already knew. You lost. Okay. I was about to say, Joe, 6.2 mil. At that point, either one, you're already rich as hell to the point where 6.2 mil in that account just wasn't worth the space in your head. But no, we tend to forget about the stuff that is like on the bottom totem pole of importance, which, don't let Pudge, hear that he was the lowest important thing on my list. But he was. It was an NFT, man. Didn't really have a lot of hope in NFTs to start with. Unfortunate. These last couple sips of sips of a milkshake. It's like it tastes so good, but you're very close to sad. So like that last sip where like you don't get anything, just sad air. Exactly. Who needs VPVR? Not this guy. And not this guy. It's just more shit on your screen. Alright, guys. I'm gonna hop off here. I told my friend that I was gonna stream for a little bit and then go chat with him, so got some Friday stuff to do. Well, hopefully you guys have a good weekend. As always, doesn't matter if it's the weekend or the weekday. It's always a good day. But well, like I said, just to kind of finish up here, if we continue to hold, 39,000-ish, 39,500, 300. Yeah, 39,300. The probability still has some sort of significance to the upside. And if we do happen to see an actual retest, I'd probably be looking for something a little bit further than 43,000 at that point. Just because there'll be a little bit harder push because people are now more motivated. They're like, oh, we really held support. So then they go for it. But other than that, there'll be one last ditch effort. If we do happen to put in a lower low than 38,600, I'll be going long from there. Stop loss right below. If we don't hold it, we don't hold it. All right. Other than that, I got my short setup. I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie that I don't have the short setup that I wanted on Ethereum. And I don't have the short setup I wanted on LTC. But that's the whole thing. If I don't get it, I don't get it. I'm not going to sacrifice safety over me wanting to, make profit. All right. Because right now, if I choose to go short, if I take the breakout trade, it's a fool's game at this point in time. All right. So I'll let it play out how it plays out. See what the future goes. Other than that, I wish you guys best of luck. Keep your emotions in check. Just do right by your own portfolio. Because like I said, it doesn't matter what your strat is. There is certain principles that no matter what the strategy is, it's going to be the same. And if you break from those, you're going to have a bad time. So, all right, guys. Do something fun. And I'll see you guys on Monday. And probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday again. All right. So I do kind of need a break. All right. We streamed what? Like 10, 14 days in a row, something like that. So let's pick an outro song and get on getting. Know who I want to play. Who I want to play. Yeah. I'm afraid to play too much Mike Posner because obviously he's a very popular artist in terms of like his label is a bigger one, I think. So like UMG and a lot of these big labels, like they don't care that my video only got 1,000 views. They block the entire video because I played 5 minutes of a song, which I don't even monetize these videos. I don't monetize live streams. I'm not making any money off the live streams. So I don't get why it's a big deal. So let me try to find, is there any new music out right now? By an artist I know that I like anyways. It doesn't necessarily look like it. We'll just play something from Akira the Don. You can't really go wrong with that. It's good music. Well, I'm not gonna say it's good music, but it's a good message with music, which we love it. We'll do Joe Rogan. All right, we haven't done one of these. I don't think so. I'll play I Don't Want to Hear That. So, all right, let's do the thing. Where I go? Leland, let's go fishing. I like fishing, but it's not something I typically do. I don't have the gear for it anyways, so I always have to rent something. No content with Ryan Kite. Since he just got his channel back, he's reevaluating how he wants to set things up, and I respect that. I'm not going to force him to do a weekly live stream. We'll see what happens in the future. See you, Kite. Thank you for the stream. Kissy face. Thank you. Appreciate it. David, later, Kite. Later, David. Drew, may the trades be with you too. Could I have a wish for the outro music today? I wish I would have saw your message before we picked a song, but maybe next time. Maybe next time. All right, next stream, you can pick. I promise. Now, this is a one-time deal, okay? Now people are going to be like, play this song. All right, if I start doing that, it's going to be crazy. And then someone's going to just make me play Porn Step. You know, it's not going to be a good situation. Don't play them copyright thieves, Kite. So, I mean, like I said, usually, like, I just get copyrighted and they just monetize the video and take the money for themselves. But some of these bigger things just take down the entire video, so it's just not worth it. All right, guys. I appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye.
Everybody's different. Everybody's similar, but everybody's different. And your attitude has a giant effect, not just on your life, but on other people's lives around you. That's the other thing about it. Those I can't catch a break guys, get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. I don't want to hear that shit. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't buy it. Because everybody has bad breaks. I've had a shit ton of bad breaks. But you know what I did? Stayed up. And I thought through it. And I figured out what the fuck I did wrong. And then I went back. It's like, I fucked up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it.
But you gotta realize when you have those shitty breaks what that is.
It's an opportunity for you to reassess, reboot, get better, figure out another way, find another way through. It's just challenges. And the people that look at those challenges and go, why do I always have these challenges? They're cancer. Those people are dangerous to be around. They will rob you of your enthusiasm. They don't give you any fuel. They're the opposite of fuel. The fuel people kicking ass. People that are out there just fucking hustling. Always getting things done. Always getting things done. My friend Jocko, every morning I'll check his Instagram page, 4:30, shows a picture of his watch. Get after it. Get after it. He's out there working out 4:30 in the morning. He does it every fucking morning. Why? Because he doesn't want to. And that's how you do it. You go and get after it. You don't make any excuses. And those kind of guys are fuel. But those I can't catch a break guys, they're the opposite of fuel. They're just pissing on your fire. They're no fun. Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. I don't want to hear that shit. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. I don't want to hear that shit. 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 Get them the fuck away from me. The people that surround him are all idiots. Because only idiots want to be around I can't catch a break guy. Only the dummies stick around. After a while, even if they're your good friend, you gotta be like, bro, you gotta fucking stop. You gotta stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something. Something. Fucking something. But this I can't catch a break shit is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you. Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. I don't want to hear that shit. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. Get them the fuck away from me. I don't want to hear that